Good afternoon, people. Man of Knowledge 1000 here again. And it looks like we're going to have more lockdowns coming in the coming weeks and months, because they're talking now about this so-called Indian variant of the coronavirus, which is obviously a load of nonsense, a load of rubbish. But that's obviously what they're going to do. Clearly, we can see they're already saying that the June 14th, whatever it is, lockdown date is going to be, the date for everything opening up again. They're saying it's going to be put off yet again, and all because of this Indian variant, right? And people has got to rush out and have this second vaccine. They're saying it's urgent. You've got to have the second vaccine because of the... I don't know how stupid you got to be to have any of them fucking vaccines, like, to be honest with you, but only the really naive people's going to be taking them. I don't think many people will come back and get that. He's shitting next to his goalpost. At least I know where it is, huh? You know what I mean? But I don't believe many people are going to be taking that vaccine. The numbers they're giving is obviously a load of rubbish. It's a load of lies. There's no way people. I don't believe for a second. There's nobody I know of, no one I speak to day to day who's taken it. No one on my social media or any of that. Nobody's taken them vaccines. No one. I don't know anybody who's taken them. And the thing you have to think about now is, if you remember back, right? Think back to when the virus first started, and it was in Wuhan, the city of Wuhan in China. When it was there, it was contained there, and everyone was frightened it was gonna, go on there through the airlines and go into other countries as well. But while it was contained there, if you think back, remember on the news what you saw on the news, and if you remember, everybody went out. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people, a really high number of people went out and started panic buying food, toilet paper, all of that sort of stuff. They're really, really frightened by what they'd seen on the news, And think back, if you were one of those people who were frightened by what you saw on the news, just think back to what you actually saw, what you saw on the news that frightened you. What was it? Do you remember the images that you saw? Think back and remember what was on the news before the virus spread to other countries. If you remember back, we had all that panic buying and that because it was guaranteed to come here and all this sort of stuff. What we saw on the news, you can refresh your memory. You can go onto YouTube or go anywhere on the internet and look up the news reports from the start of the virus. And what you will see is videos of people dying, literally on CCTV. There's people actually falling over dead. There's videos of a crowd of people, and there's literally one drops here on the camera, and there's about 20 meters away, a few seconds later, another one drops dead, coronavirus. Other people laying on the floor, fitting and that, and shaking and all this stuff, foaming at the mouth, all that. And there's people rushing about hospitals in hazmat suits. They got them things like off the film 12 Monkeys, where they got the plastic containment chambers and all that sort of stuff. The hospitals are chaotic. Remember the videos? They were chaotic. All these hospitals. And everyone saw that, Everyone saw it. It's amazing how few people remember it, though. When you're talking to people, it's like they say it's gone blank in the head. Why was you buying toilet paper? You didn't do it for no reason. Them poor old people who couldn't get their food and that in Tesco, let alone fucking toilet paper. Because everyone was really crapping themselves. Diarrhea and that. Obviously you needed the toilet paper because of what they'd seen on the news. But and the hospitals they built, supposedly they built these hospitals in less than a week. All these hospitals that they were building. Now, think of it here, right? The virus came here. What have you seen with your own eyes? Your 2 eyes. What did you see on the? Compare that. Now take what you've seen with your own eyes around you, not on television. What do you remember seeing of this pandemic? What have you seen when you've been driving near your local hospital? Have you seen ambulances everywhere on the road? Have you seen mass graves like we've seen in Wuhan? Now in India as well, they're showing the same thing. They're showing all these mass graves. There's people throwing the dead into the river. Now we live in a tiny, tiny little island. Britain is a tiny little island. It's very, very small, but it's very densely populated for the size of it. Extremely densely populated. Especially if you're somewhere like London. So on any given day during the week, we can have 14, 15 million people in that city of London. I'm regularly driving in and out of London all the time, and the surrounding area. I'm in Essex now. This is where I live. Very close, about 20 miles from London. Driving to London nearly every day. I've been, but the biggest hospital in Essex is next to me. The funeral, what do you call them? What do you call them again? You know, where they got the funeral house, you know, where people go to sort out their funerals and all that stuff. Just down that road there, the right hand side. Biggest hospital in Essex, up that road. Now, this whole area has been quiet as anything. It's been so quiet. All the road up by the hospital where I go jogging every morning, absolutely dead quiet. Nothing about. Going to London, right? All the roads by the hospitals, quiet. I mean, when you'd expect during a pandemic, right, that all the hospitals, of course, when you really think hard about it, think about this, the hospitals would be very, very busy. Because there'd be a lot of people would be very, very sick. A lot of people would be dying. A lot of people would be getting buried. You know, and you look at a country like China, you look at a country like India, and you see that they've got all these excess dead. They've got mass graves and that, right? This is supposedly the same virus, right? In London, and the roads and that are dead quiet. Everything's quiet as a mouse. There's nothing going on. There's nothing going on. The whole thing is an absolute load of shit. That's the truth of it. And the thing is this, people are so... You've been, for your whole life, your television has been used in order to cause you to warp your view of reality. To warp your view of the truth. Do you know what I mean? That's what it has been used for. And that is why people will believe this absolute crap that you're seeing on the news. Absolute rubbish. You're going around the supermarket. I'm going around the supermarket today, right? And people's looking at me because I'm walking around without a mask. And people's looking at me like I'm an absolute idiot. Like I'm a fucking... I must have something wrong with me mentally or something, you know what I mean? Because I'm not wearing a mask. And all these fucking idiots are walking around wearing a mask, you know. Covering their face. You look at these other countries where supposedly got all these fucking dead people and that, right? Hundreds of thousands of dead people, right? They can't even fucking throwing them in the fucking river, you know what I mean? You go around London, there's nothing. All the hospitals is empty. Everywhere's empty. Funeral parlours empty. Everywhere's empty. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute load of shit. And anyone who, you know, the thing is though, you're conditioned to believe this nonsense, you know? You're just conditioned to believe it. You believe anything they fucking say to you. It's really fucking... But it doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means that you've been conditioned for this, you know? You've been conditioned to believe this fucking crap. Do you know what I mean? But all you have to do is think. That's all you have to do is think. Think, and not let your television think for you. Think for yourself. Use your own head and use your own eyes and think. Right? God bless you. Much love. And may I hope to God that you wake up and see what's happening. I really do, because when you do find out what's happening, when you find out that it's all a load of shit, you find out that the people who've been saying this all along were right, you're gonna feel a little bit silly. But all I can say is, don't go near that effing vaccine. Don't touch it. Because why trust them? Why trust these people? What have they done to earn your trust? Nothing. They've never been trustworthy before, have they? So why would they be trustworthy now? You know? You can't trust them on. You can't trust someone on small things. You can't trust someone on big things. That is the top and bottom of it. That's the truth, isn't it? If you can't trust someone on little things, you can never trust them on big things. But this thing here is obvious. It's completely, blatantly obvious. All you have to do is open your eyes and think for yourself. All right? God bless and speak soon.